Hey guys, I am the Argent Defender and today I am here to bring you some more information on the Mists of Pandaria expansion. Starting off with, how do we get there? That's probably a question some of you guys have asked already, and it's actually quite simple. We get shipwrecked there, though I suppose you guys would be wanting a bit more information on how that happens. So, one of the things that Blizzard announced at BlizzCon is, well, before BlizzCon, is that the Horde will be destroying Theramore. This will be happening in the pre-Mists of Pandaria patch. And yeah, basically, Theramore gets destroyed by the Horde. Not many Alliance players were happy about this. It seemed like even more Horde favoritism. But anyway, I speculate that because Theramore is destroyed, that the human kingdom of Kultiris, the human kingdom that basically revolves around the sea, the navy, and all that sort of stuff, they basically decide enough is enough, we've stayed out of this war long enough, we need to show the Horde who's boss. And so they call upon the Alliance to aid them in a navy battle with the Horde not far away from Theramore, and as the fight progresses, we basically get, well, our boats, the Horde and Alliance, get destroyed, and we wash up on the shores of Pandaria. You'd have expected something a little more epic. Well, sorry, no, this is what Blizzard has said. It will be shipwreck. So basically, once we've washed up on the shores of Pandaria, a few things will happen. First, we will meet the Pandaren proper, the ones that have stayed on the mainland rather than the ones that we play as, who are apparently a lot different compared to the player character Pandaren. And we'll also meet a few different races along the way. The first two races that I think we will be meeting are actually opposed factions, and the Horde and the Alliance ally themselves with one of them. The first one that I want to talk about are the Jinyu, which are a race of fish-like humanoids who are native to the Jade Forest, which is the first place we actually end up going to on Pandaria. That's where we get shipwrecked. And the Jinyu are, like I said, a fish people race, and they supposedly have the ability to converse with the land, so you can guess that they are shamanic or something similar, in tune with the elements. I suppose seeing that they are fish people, they would of course be attuned with water as well as the land. And despite what was said or shown in a concept map of the Jade Forest, which said that the Jinyu would be aligned with the Alliance, the Blizzard has said that they will actually be aligned with the Horde. Seems a bit odd to me, seeing the Jinyu seem more like a peaceful race rather than the tribal, warlike races of the Horde. I was hoping that they would change their minds or go back to what they originally said and make the Jinyu a alliance faction, because hell, fish people are awesome. So other than the Jinyu in the Jade Forest, there is also the Hozu, which are a race of monkey people that look somewhat similar to the Pygmies from Oldham. Unlike the Jinyu, these guys are a tribal race. They are also mischievous and like to play pranks on the Pandaren. I don't really see why the Alliance would align themselves with these guys. Honestly, to me, they fit more the Horde description. But, hell, we might get a reason sooner or later while we're questing through the zone. After we've gone past the Jinyu and the Hozu, there's another race that we will find there in the Jade Forest, which is called the Verming. Here's a picture. Aren't they cute? Well, the Verming are apparently the Pandaran equivalent to kobolds. They are a nuisance, not really a big threat. And they have a particular taste for vegetables. That's one of the things that they seem to do. They're like the kobolds, with the fact that the kobolds don't like it if you take their candle. Well, the Verming don't like it if you take their vegetables. After the Verming, we get out to some of the more important enemy races that will pop up throughout Pandaria. The next one that I want to talk about is the Mantid. Now, the Mantid are an insect race. They look like praying mantises. And they hide, well, they are behind a giant wall. They are basically like the Huns from China. They are imprisoned, or maybe just blocked out from the rest of Pandaria by a giant wall that spans the width of the continent. And before the wall, they were actually supposedly a peaceful race. They were friends with the Pandaran. But something happened. They grew angry. They wanted to kill stuff, retake the land that they believed was now theirs. And so, yeah, they built the Great Wall. The Pandaren, that is, built the Great Wall to keep the Mantid from overwhelming them. So, it is said that these guys are very similar to the Silithid, apart from the fact that they think for themselves rather than as a hive mind. And I'd really like to see how this story with the Mantid turns out, because I really enjoyed the Silithus zone. I enjoyed the Anchorage raids, and so yeah, that'll be cool to see what they end up doing. After them, we have the Mogu, the guys I talked about in the last video. As I said, the Mogu were the original rulers of Pandaria before the Pandaren themselves actually showed up. And they seem to be made of metal. Now this is interesting because most races that are made of metal in the Warcraft universe tend to be Titan constructs. And when has there ever been a Titan construct that has been very, very warlike? There hasn't been one before, apart from maybe the Vrykul. And it would also appear that in one of their instances that there is a room within the instance called the Titan Vault. So it would be very interesting to see what these guys have to offer, apart from being one of the enemies that we meet. Possibly they will end up being a bit of an addition to the story of the Titans. It's also pretty interesting that they look like orcs. I'm probably not the only one who's noticed that. They do look like orcs. And it might be possible that these are pre-Curse of Flesh orcs that were brought to Azeroth after the ordering of Draenor. Just putting it out there, something to think about. Now, the final race I want to talk about is the Shah. Well, it's not really a race per se, it's more a manifestation of negative energy. The Shah, well, here's a picture for you to have a look at. Since the Horde and the Alliance come to Pandaria, it is said that the Shah have grown rapidly due to the violence that the Horde and the Alliance commit against each other, as the Shah are embodiments of hate and fear and all sorts of other things. So, yeah, those are the races that you'll meet in Pandaria. Not really much else to talk about, so I will see you guys later.